Welcome to the Clearing the Air podcast with D and Q.
I'm D.
And I'm Q. And yo, man, we just want to clear the air today on NBA preview. This is part 2, 6 to 10. So team 6 to 10. Let's just get into it. Like, who do you think will be teams 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
All right, so just to go back a little bit, we said teams 1 through 5 were Nets, Bucks, Heat, Hawks, and possibly the Knicks. And my squad, the Knicks. You see them colors. Still got them all. All right. So 6 through 10, in no particular order, we said the Bulls. You said the Sixers because they were going to have a drop-off due to the Ben Simmons uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, Charlotte, and that 10 spot was battling between the Wizards and Indiana, right?
Yeah.
So those are the 10. So I mean, those are the 6 through 10. So let's discuss those, bro.
All right. So not in any particular order. So let's dive into the Wizards and the Pacers, because we're saying that they are the borderline 10 team. So DC Wizards. There were some changes made to that team. Obviously, we know Westbrook is no longer there. We have Beal still there, which to me seems crazy because, so talk to us about that team. What do you think about the changes that they made?
I mean, so they got rid of Westbrook. They got some, solid pieces with Kuzma, Trez, and KCP. I think they guard position. Oh, they got what's my dude, the shooter from Gonzaga, Corey Kispert. They got him. I don't know, man. And of course, Bill. Bill is one of the league's top scorers, all NBA, all-star. I know what you mean. Like, it's crazy that he's still there. You always hear his name in trade talks. It'll be interesting to see if somebody will move him. If somebody will try to get him at the trade deadline. I think he would be a difference maker for a team that's kind of close. But right now he's with the Wizards. He's trying to remain loyal. But I don't know, man. I don't see them I definitely see them hovering around that 10 spot. And I mean, we see them often. They're the local team. But I don't know, man. I don't really see them making no noise. If they get in, it'll be a quick first round exit.
Yeah.
Maybe not even win the play in to get to the main show.
Right. Which leads me to the Pacers. I think they were the 9th team last year.
Yeah, Pacers, they beat the Hornets. Everybody's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's team that they was kind of rooting for, wanted to see in the playoff. The Pacers beat them. But then they had to play the Wizards, but before they could fully get in, they lost to the Wizards. So,
right.
Pacers is just kind of weird, man. It seems like they always in the playoffs, but never, that first round exit. I mean, you got Sabonis, who's an all-star. You got Brogdon. TJ Warren started to come into his own.
The Holiday brothers.
Oh, yeah. Well, they actually traded one. One of the Holiday brothers is now on the Wizards. Crazy. He's their starting point guard. They got TJ McConnell, and they got the big man, Miles Turner. I know I was forgetting somebody. So, but I see them the same way, bro. Just hovering around that 9th, 10th seed and backing their way into the playoffs and possibly trying to make a way to get in there.
Right. So I guess that leads us to, the Sixers. And you asked the question. You said,
now this is you. Let's make this clear. This is you thinking they're going to fall this far. This is more so you. Okay.
All right. Yeah, it is.
Speak on it, brother. Speak on it, brother.
I just don't think, there's all the talk about Ben Simmons and him not being able to shoot, more or less, not so much him not being able to shoot, him not shooting. So he gets a bad rap on that. I understand why. But you take him out of that team and there's no trade for anybody of value, you're not going to be what you were. And just think about it. And they lost to the Hawks, who were the number 4th team?
Hawks were 5. My Knicks were 4. Yeah. So Hawks were 5.
Yeah, Hawks were 5 and your Knicks were 4. With the same record, by the way, 41-31. So the crazy part about it is, again, you had the Sixers, they were the 1 seed. I think the part of the reason why they were the number 1 seed is because of the injuries to Brooklyn and, different things in Milwaukee trying to figure some stuff out. Well, Milwaukee, I feel like, was a number 3 seed, and I think they did what they did as a result of Philly doing what they did, and then Brooklyn with the injuries. Anyway, but I just don't feel like they will have enough. They didn't have enough when they had everybody to beat a team that was seeded lower than them. I'm sorry, a seed that was lower than them.
Yeah, you had it right.
I'm sorry. And so I just don't think they're going to be able. So I do feel like they will drop to a top 10 team, maybe get the 8th seed, but almost definitely a play-in. If not, I don't think they're going to not look at playoffs in the East. But again, I think they might be a step above the Wizards and the Pacers in terms of being able to hold their own.
So you telling me a Doc Rivers led team with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, I'm going to say Andre Drummond. I'm just going to say his name. I'm not going to say how much of an impact, but you saying a team with those 3 players are going to have that precipitous of a fall and have to be in the play-in game to make the playoffs. And they was the 1 seed the year before.
You just made this so much worse.
I want clarity. I need clarity.
You about to get your clarity. The first person you mentioned was Doc Rivers, and then playoffs. That was the first bomb. Okay. Yes. Look at the talent that he's had before and what has happened. So that's number 1. Number 2, you don't have the person who was a part of the process that got you to being that number 1 seed. You don't. And you don't have anybody to replace him. Tobias Harris, I actually really like Tobias Harris. I really do. But when it comes time for him consistently to show up, he does not consistently show up. So it's not like you can say, oh, let's just take Ben Simmons out and we got Tobias, we're good. That's not what that means. So I do think there's going to be a fall, and you added Drummond in there. What's that going to do but clog up the middle, because you already got Embiid clogging up the middle. So, you talking about clogged arteries. That ain't doing you no good. And especially not in the East. Well, anywhere, period. So, I don't think it really does much. I don't.
I'm just saying, that's a big drop, bro.
It is a big drop, but it's a big drop. And let me tell you this. I don't like what I've seen Ben Simmons do. I don't really like, if in my eyes, the lack of accountability that he has taken for his game. But what you can't do is deny what he has done and who he is as a player. And so I really feel like, as a testament to him, not that I'm saying this because I owe anything to Ben Simmons, but I think we will really see his impact as someone who's not playing on the team, which is a whole nother conversation, because apparently that's up in the air about him maybe deciding to not play because he's losing bread. What he lost, like $360,000 for not doing something. and that's only going to get worse as the games go along. So, I mean, are you really going to decide to not play?
So, a couple things. Yeah, I think he's missing 300 plus $1,000 for every preseason game he misses. And I also read a report just this morning that he's, of course, having second thoughts about sitting out and losing that money, as we kind of figured he would. You know what I'm saying? So I think it remains to be seen. I think he may pull a Harden last year, which is show up, but just give bare minimum effort. Make it so where the organization just got to trade you. You know what I'm saying? Just make it uncomfortable, just make it funky. So I think that's what he's going to do. Harden came in looking like Sherman Klump last year, remember? Remember he came in looking... Harden was looking terrible last year at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was like, what, 5 games and he was out of it.
Yeah. I mean, because it's like a cancer to the team. So that's just where we are with Philly. We don't got to beat that. Yeah. But, I mean, we're going to see what happens to it.
Next, your team. Your I don't know, your second team, your B team. You're going to explain that. You're going to have to explain your Celtics.
All right. So I'm from Boston. And, you know, Celtics are the home team. But I've been a Heat fan since the days of my man D Wade. And, you know, sometimes when you lose those impact players, the team sinks or tanks. They haven't had the same success. Well, they have had the same success in being able to get to, you know, lost to the, you know, the Lakers, but, you know, okay. But still. If we in the East, we talking about Celtics or the Heat, either one. All right, so Celtics had to get rid of Kemba, okay, which is unfortunate because I like Kemba, but, you know, yeah, y'all got him. But the question we asked about y'all was, is he going to be that offense that y'all need, you know, when Randall is
Health.
Yeah. But we ain't talking about the Knicks. So as in regard to the Celtics, I feel like a move is going to have to be made. They're not going to make any noise. I feel like a move is going to have to be made. I don't know what move that is. I don't know why they thought bringing Al Horford back was a good idea. I think, while I hate to say it, either Jalen or Tatum, they're gonna want to leave after a while, and it's so terrible when you see what they did with a Cleveland Cavs that had LeBron, you know, and that was in their second or third year.
That was Tatum's rookie year, I believe, when he dumped on Brown that year. Yeah,
I believe so. And I think maybe Tatum's second.
No, that was Tatum's rookie year. That was Brown's second, I believe.
That's what I meant. I meant to say Brown.
Right.
My bad. So again, you look at that and you say, man, they had that success, promising team. But like, what are you going to do? And what you realize is these teams, they don't have the patience. Two things: the teams, the you know, the offices, the head office, they don't have the patience to sit around and wait to see how things are going to go. That's number one. And number two, the players, after a while, they get to the point where they're like, listen, I want out. I would hate to see that because I think they have a good core. But what are you going to do? Who are you going to bring in to kind of give you what you need to take you over the edge? So we've talked about the Sixers, the Celtics, the Wizards, the Pacers, and I'm going to say
hold up before we move on.
Hold on.
Move on with that.
No, we're not moving on yet.
Okay.
My point of what I'm getting ready to say, and then you go ahead, is I just don't think any of the 4 teams that we've mentioned so far, and probably maybe only one of these teams, but I still don't think they could do much, is going to be able to do anything with the top 3 teams, who I feel like are the Nets, the Bucks, and who was that other team?
I think your boys, the Heat.
Matter of fact, take them out because I don't know about them either. What were you going to say, sir?
I was going to say, you know, there's a decision need to be made with Brown and Tatum. Like, you know, they both young, they both under contract. but have you gone as far as you can with them too? Is it time to break them up? I think that's the decision that Boston's been kind of been contemplating the past few years. I also feel like they never have a big man. You know what I'm saying? Like a quality big man that can get them boards. You know what I'm saying? Play rub, bring some defense. You know, they had Horford before, but by that time he was more of a shooter. You know, kind of finesse big. Um, so I don't know, man. I also think that well, I was gonna ask you what do you think about the coaching move. So Ainge stepped down. Your boy Brad Stevens moved up to his position as GM, and then they brought in I forgot my man's name. Nia Long, husband and
no
child's father, and no disrespect at all, because he got Nia Long. Yeah, I just can't think of his name right now. But
if I'm being honest, I think I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see another African American coach.
Yeah.
You know, especially for a city like Boston to really be the coach. So I'm happy about that.
Y'all's first? No, it's not y'all's first, because y'all had Bill Russell and KC Jones.
KC Jones, yeah.
Right.
So the problem is there's such an expectation put on coaches. And I would say even African American coaches, that if they give you an opportunity, you must produce instant success. The problem is you're not out there playing. And this is a decision that, like you said, I think is huge, that it needs to be made. Again, I'd love to see Brown and Tatum continue to play alongside each other. The problem is, who do you add to that mix that gives them that punch? Oh, by the way, this is what I meant to say about Philly.
Back on Philly, okay?
Yes. We were talking about Beal. And I actually think that would be a good move to get Beal there and get your boy Simmons out of there. Now, whether he'd want to play in DC, I don't know. But they'd be giving up probably, well, no, that's a fair trade. I don't think you need to give anything else for that. I think that's a good swap. Would they feel that way? I don't know. But I just because I'm talking about the East, I'm like, So
I mean, yeah. I mean, we definitely need to talk about possible trade scenarios for Ben if they trade him. And yeah, I'm sure Philly would love Beat. If I'm DC, I don't know if I do that. I just don't. Unless well, he's not going to make, Ben Simmons is not going to make my team better. Now, if you're giving me some draft picks, then maybe so. But just straight up, yeah, for Philly, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense for DC. We're going to give away an all NBA player for a man who's an all NBA defensive player, but who has broken confidence right now.
But if that's the case, nobody would want him then, though.
No, that's not necessarily true. Sacramento will want him. They'll take anybody. And he would have, but I'm saying, and then with him, he would be in the West, far away from Philly. He would only have to play in Philly once a year. And there would be no expectations up there. So he could just play free flowing. Like, no, we wouldn't care if Ben Simmons didn't shoot if he played in Sacramento. Right?
Agreed. But initially, and this is where emotions get involved and stuff, and then we're going to hop off of this. This is where emotions get involved, because when you say you're willing to be traded to any team, I'm going to say this much. Seeing that you have tasted of success in the East to go to a team, I think the scenario is correct if he stands on, I don't care what team I get traded to, I just want out. But then I feel like then you run into the whole mental situation of, okay, there's no foreseeable way to make Sacramento a play-in team, at least. So if that's being and just trading him there is not going to make them that, as you said, when it came time to the Wizards. So that being said and done, now what do you go through in your mind saying, okay, well, how long am I going to be here? how long am I going to deal with this? De'Aaron Fox, left-hander, great player. And then that's another thing. You don't see the Kings. You don't see them you don't see them in any games. So, I mean, but again, maybe that's what he wants because it gets him out of the limelight.
Look, again, will Philly do that trade all day, every day? If I'm DC, I'm not doing that.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah, the Kings, you can have anybody except for De'Aaron Fox. If Philly got Buddy Hield, you think that would help? Some shooting. They need a point. We understand they need a point.
They need a point.
So, but we'll get into all that because we done heard Dame out there. We done heard him going to Golden State for Wiggins, and you know what I'm saying. So we'll get
all
to
this
that.
other.
Yeah. Let me ask you, going back to the Celtics real quick. One last question. Mm-hmm. What do you do with Marcus Smart? What do you do with Marcus Smart?
It's a tough decision. And the reason it's a tough decision is because I would not trade him unless I was able to get. This is terrible to say this because I only say this because I don't know who that is. I would only trade him for a PJ Tucker younger version. And I don't know who that is because that's what he brings to your team. So you need that type of energy on your team. I don't know. You do, but if you do, you getting like you can always make.
But he is your team's PJ Tucker, ain't he? Can hit an occasional jumper, plays defense, passion. Seems to be a crowd favorite. And he's younger than PJ. Ain't he younger than PJ? So
he's way younger than PJ. But my point is, if the decision, because him coming up means you would even consider trading him. So if you're going to consider trading him, then the conversation is you get rid of him for who? Because it's not easy to replace players that are like that. I think that's the reason why. What's your boy that just got traded to Minnesota? That I can't.
Pat Bev. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So
I like
for
Pat
example,
Bev.
Like him all you want, but
terrible.
It's you need, and then my point is he's even shorter, and it's not giving you that consistent jumper that you would need than what Smart is. So it's like you have a couple of those dogs, as Uncle Shannon, or Uncle Shay would say.
Right.
And you can't you give that up. It's when you need to stop in those playoff moments, it becomes very tough. Or in those critical moments in the game, it becomes very tough. So that's just my thoughts on that. If trade him, but
y'all just gave him money though. So, but I think y'all going to try to run it this year with the same squad and the new coach to see what y'all can do. But I don't see y'all really contending.
Nah.
So, all right, man. Well, the last two teams left are probably the most intriguing teams.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with. You want to start with the Hornets or the Bulls?
Start with the Hornets.
All right, let's start with the Hornets. So, the Hornets got everybody's darling, LaMelo. Came out of the woodwork last year. I don't think we thought LaMelo would have that big of an impact so quick, and he did. And Charlotte played well. They faltered, had some bad losses toward the end of the year, and dropped down in the standings. Had to play in the play-in. Like I said, lost to Indiana that first game, so they didn't even make the second playing game. But I do like the rookies they got, Book Knight, and I forgot the other young cat they got. But they explosive, y'all. They gonna be all over the rim. Miles Bridges, watch your head. And Scary Terry got a nice extension. When he get high, he can fill it up. So I think they'll be exciting. I think they'll finish right around the same general area that they did last year, kind of that 6 through 9, 7 to 10 range, and they'll probably be, in the playoff battle, play-in battle again.
Mm-hmm. I don't have much to add to that. I think I agree with what you said. I think one of the things we talked about was kind of like, like what could you do? It's either you trading or you drafting, and it's unfair to expect that when you, do a draft that you're going to necessarily get an immediate impact. So that's one of them things that's always tough. And then, Charlotte has done a host of trades. I mean, Kemba Walker's still in your mind because, he played with Boston a few years, and then now he's with another team. So, you think about the different people who've come in and out. Now, the Bulls.
As a Knicks fan, it's hard for me to talk about them. but
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna give you misery.
Yeah.
But I think well, go ahead. You can talk to us about the Bulls.
I think they're going to be the most intriguing team this year. I think they got a lot of new pieces. I'm not sure how they're going to mesh, but they got the pieces, bro. You talk about Levine, DeRozan, Lonzo, Caruso, and they still got Vucevic. So, I mean, they're going to be a highlight. They're going to stay on the top 10 because we know Levine all over the rim. We know DeRozan still be all over the rim. Vucevic is an all-star big man down low. Lonzo is coming to his own. His shot is looking good. And Caruso is Caruso. You know what I'm saying? Definitely going to be a fan favorite. So again, I think they're going to be the most intriguing team next year. It'll be interesting to see. I definitely think they'll be way better than they were last year. And I don't know, man. I see them being above the plan. Like I see them. I hate to say it, but if everything goes well with them, they might be in that Hawks Knicks range, like in that area, kind of that maybe that 5, 4, 5, 6 kind of area. I really don't think, barring injury, and I'm just being unbiased. I think if it works together, I think their biggest thing is probably going to be shooting. Zach can fill it up. DeRozan is mid-range assassin, but he's not a 3-point shooter. Like I said, Zoe's shooting is getting better. And, Caruso's a decent shooter too. So it's going to be intriguing, dog. It's definitely going to be intriguing. I think them and Charlotte are probably going to be the two most intriguing teams in the East. Obviously, what's going to happen with Philly. But I think Charlotte and Chicago is going to be those two.
All right, so let's clear the air. I'm thinking, I'm agreeing with what you said. So I might even say we're doing 6 through 10. So if we had to do 6 to 10, let's clear the air. 16, right. The number 16, I'm going with the Bulls.
Okay.
The number 17, I'm going with the Hornets.
Over Boston.
Over Boston.
Okay.
The number 18, it's tough because I'm either going with Philly or Boston. And I might even go with Boston. Okay. The number 19, we'll go with Philly. And then I'm gonna go with the Pacers just because I feel like the Wizards, then they're gonna be figuring out how to mesh.
Right. And we forgot, dog, the Pacers. I totally forgot about my man Karis LeVert. He's still there.
Karis LeVert, yes.
Yeah, and we know he can fill it up.
But remember the back injury and how he gonna respond, coming back from that.
Right.
So
Right.
So
okay. Well, look,
so
we gonna end it on that, on you clearing the air on that, because it's all you in this Philly that you on. So we gonna end that on that, bro. The air is officially cleared.
we're gonna do a mid-season check, so we're gonna see where it's
Oh
at. But hey,
yeah.
yo, for now, we done cleared the air. We'll see y'all mid-season. Peace.